And he was like, if you couldn't run, you'd have 100 sacks. He told me that before an ESPN game one night. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right. I was out, man. I was out the gate. I wasn't waiting around to see what was going to happen either. I was like, no, man. We get to like halfway through that season. Mm-hmm. And first of all, I was like, I'm done playing football. This is dumb. This is stupid. Let's do something else.
Welcome back to the fourth Harvester Sports Podcast. I'm Austin.
I'm Noah, and behind the camera, as always,
I'm Tyler.
And we got a great episode for you today. David Carr is back in the pod. Longtime listener, first-time caller, fan of the show, NFL Network analyst, and former first overall pick. Let's get litty, boys.
46.
Bro, a little story real quick. So he thought he found the love of his life, right? And then she didn't answer him for a day, and he blocked her.
Wait, no. The girl that he found at Cal Poly?
Yes, he thought he found her.
Okay.
And then he DM'd
It's
her.
the only right move. You have to.
Why did you block her?
Because she didn't answer him in a day.
So you have
What
to
if
block.
she was busy?
She
might have
can
stuff
be,
to
be
do.
busy on her own time, bro.
she was being busy. That's what she was
being
doing.
busy on her own time.
She
That wasn't your
was
time.
moving into
I remember
Cal Poly.
because then I said, Tyler, was she the one? He's like, I don't know. Like he didn't
Yeah,
even
like,
know, and he blocked her.
It's gone.
I completely forgot what she looks like. Like when I was.
It doesn't
looking
matter. Maybe that's
at these
all your
Cal
friends,
Poly
everybody
people,
has
I
gone
don't know what they
through
look like.
and used the power of social media to find this girl for you, and you guys actually connected, and then you just blocked her.
She
There's a
actually
good chance
Hi,
it
for
wasn't
the
her.
for
There's
the
a good
past
chance it wasn't
month,
her.
I've been walking around campus looking for that back.
Noah,
looking
save you for that. Noah's being the
To be
goat.
fair,
He's helping me out.
it might have been my fault because I made him change the way he was talking, like DMing her. Because when he
can't do
showed
that.
me what he wanted to say, it was like, "What's up?"
See, here's the problem.
I was like, "You can't do
No,
it."
that's his. That's
and
his
she was
move,
like,
though.
"Hey, how are you?" He's like, "I'm good, shawty." Like that's how he was talking.
Why would you talk like that?
That's how he was
First of all,
doing.
this
No
is
one in your
all
house talks like that.
out
Where
of-
does
out
that
of
even come from?
context. This is
I'm,
out
good,
of
I'm
context.
chilling, bro.
What did you call it?
Out of context.
What is the
Out of
context that
context.
makes?
Okay.
Hey,
Give me
what's
the-
up, shoddy?
Yeah,
like,
give me the
better?
context for that.
Context.
When she finds out who you really are, she's gonna be like,
Yeah.
"Why did you say that at the beginning of our relationship?"
Yeah.
He's what is he doing? What do you call it? He's taking it out of proportion. Yeah, there you go. That's the right one.
Blowing it out of proportion.
You can't talk, bro.
I'm gonna get another. You're gonna be right here next time, Ty. You're sitting.
Oh,
right
I don't
here,
want to
number
be.
Put him
I
in
don't
the
feel
hot
like it.
seat.
I don't feel like it.
He thought it'd be a good story that they could share at their wedding, where he's like, "Yeah, I slid in there. I said, 'What's up, shoddy?' And
then
the
I-
rest is history."
We would all boo you, just so you
It's
know.
like those couples that meet on Tinder, and you're like, "That's a little."
We
it's a
would
little
all boo you.
suspicious.
Yeah, it is a little
It's a
suspicious.
little suspicious.
But the fact that you blocked her really bothers me.
Right? He's like,
I didn't block her.
Okay, well then.
He's
I did.
tapping
I did.
his
While-
face right now.
while we're on right now,
Unblock her right now.
I did
Unblock her
unsend
right
the
now,
message,
and
though.
right now I want you to respond back with a normal sentence and just see what
There's
happens
no way
before the
I
end of this
would do
I
podcast.
said, I'm sorry, I don't know what came over me.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Alright.
One of my friends jacked my phone.
Yeah,
and like,
that's
they wrote
good,
something
that's good.
dumb.
How art thou, my fair maiden?
Just to
Pin
be
a
left
note.
unread again, huh?
with a
Take
quill.
your hand.
Yes.
Just
like
to be
that.
left
You should
unread
ask her
again.
dad if you can court
Good
her.
idea.
Yeah, you need to DM the dad first.
Yeah.
Say, I want
Oh,
to
yeah.
DM your daughter.
this
Is
correctly.
that okay?
You're right.
Can I write to her like the Patriot?
I was thinking about it all the wrong
May
way.
I write to? Can I call on Ann? That's what he said.
This isn't financial advice. Noah told me not to say that before, right? So I don't get in trouble.
It's probably a good idea.
I told him that if anybody looks at him and thinks that he's giving legitimate financial advice, then they deserve
That's
whatever
their fault
bad
too. I
investments
agree.
they're
But
gonna
just
make.
legally, you got to protect yourself.
Listen, I've been trying to tell Noah.
Why isn't your stuff straight, guys? Let's see. There we go.
Come on, we getting flamed now? Can't have a thing anymore?
That right there, that was completely sideways
when
before
you
you
came
walked
in,
in.
this.
Yeah, that's okay.
But I've been trying to convince Noah. I told you about it earlier to get the
Yeah.
NFT race horses, dude.
And you guys say this to me, and I don't. Now, I mean, full disclosure, we've made our share of money on NFTs and
Yeah.
cryptocurrency and all this stuff, but I'm not smart enough to figure all that out. I have
Yeah.
a team of people that do that for me. But you told me that you bought an NFT racehorse.
Yeah, I've been. Yeah,
And it blew my mind. Now, I used to play this. I was thinking about this. I used to play this arcade game at Dave & Buster's. And I don't know if you remember this. You were young. You were young when this thing was out. So even if you had been to Dave & Buster's, you probably have not seen this. It's probably 4 to 6 people can sit there at this thing. There's a big screen TV, and there's literally a horse race going on. Okay. So, and you buy these cards, right? And when you go to any Dave & Buster's or wherever this arcade game is, you slide your card in for the horse that you own, right? And so you sit down, your horse is now at that track. You feed it, you train it, you do all this stuff, prep for it, and then you race whoever's there with you, right? And you can boost your horse up, you can get points, right? So I started thinking about that, and people were going crazy about this stuff. Like back in the day, you could go on eBay and buy these cards for like $500, $1,000 just for these horses.
And that's back in the
people
day, too.
Way back in the day. So when you said the NFT horse race
Yeah.
deal, I was like, that's exactly what they're doing now. It's just a different thing. So explain what it is, because I don't have any idea what that is.
So basically, they came out a little while ago. I think it's called Zed Run, and they came out and they released like I don't know a set amount of horses.
Is it a picture of the horse?
No, it's a real horse.
A digital
It's a
copy.
digital horse.
Okay,
Yeah,
got
just
it.
copy of the horse,
Okay.
and you can have your own stables and
Okay,
stuff.
got
You
it.
keep them, you can
Yeah.
breed them and stuff like that, and
Yep.
sell them in the marketplace.
Okay.
But initially, they released like I think a couple thousand of them.
Okay.
So people bought them and then started breeding their own, and every couple weeks or something, they release more. But
So are there like different attributes that each horse has that makes you, if you breed with another horse, that
Yeah,
you
it's
can
like-
create a super horse?
I don't know too much, but I think it's like different breeds of horse. So it's
Okay,
like this
got
is
it.
like a Genesis horse, which is the ones that they release. I
Okay,
think.
got it.
And how expensive would it be to buy? Do you remember Racing Stripes? The
Yeah.
zebra?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so dude, that's so crazy
remember
because
that.
so in that same game that I played, and I'm sure people are listening, or someone's gonna know what the name is.
That there
what
were
it's
zebras?
called. There was a zebra, and if
Oh,
you
is
got
that
the
one
zebra,
go-
he was just gone.
gone.
Yeah, like so everybody
Bowling
wanted
kids?
to push to get these zebras.
He was bowling kids at Dave
Yeah,
Buster's.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah, there is like, but the whole thing is still weird. It's like the cryptocurrency stuff stresses me out because you can't just be like, okay, here's whatever $500. It's
Yeah.
like, no, you have to move it to Ethereum and stuff first. And then
yeah,
buy it.
right.
So it's so weird.
It is interesting. I don't know enough about it to say go for it, but I
Yeah.
mean, it's
they have. So you have to. Also, I know that you have to pay to get into the races.
Okay.
And there's races 24/7.
so okay. So you have the horses, and there are races
Just-
for those horses, and if you win the race,
Yeah.
what is the winning the race based on?
So the winning race, people can bet on the horses like it's real.
Okay, got
like
it.
real horses, and then you win based off winning and stuff like that.
yeah, okay.
Just like if
What
you
makes
win-
your horse fast? Like, how do you make them
I don't,
faster?
because the thing,
Is it all kind of chance
I feel
or
like
what?
that's a way to
Yeah.
get scammed, right? Can they just
Yeah, no,
program your horse
I
to
would-
lose every time?
Maybe.
I would more trust going to like an actual horse
Yeah.
race. I think because
Yeah.
I feel like stuff going on digitally, like
You could just kinda-
maybe they just went in, edited
Yeah.
my horse's speed or whatever.
Yeah,
It's like what you
made
do
him,
in
like,
Madden when we
slow.
play Madden franchises.
Yeah,
you
when
just
I
come in
cheat,
and I'm
I
like,
edit.
why
Yeah.
is this guy 98 overall?
I don't remember
He's a
him being
fullback?
that fast.
Yeah, interesting.
Speaking about Madden franchises, we have an NFL record holder right here, dude.
I set a record.
What'd you do?
NFL record in our franchise this game.
Okay.
It's
Full
amazing.
disclosure, I'm the Washington football team.
Okay.
Yep.
My quarterback is Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yep.
It's a bit of a rebuilding year, but that being said, I did set the NFL record for most interceptions in a game.
Wait. How many did you throw?
I threw 9.
Yes, bro.
He's numb to the pick.
Yeah, he's numb. Like speaking of Sahil too,
He's numb to the pick.
Sahil tied the record before him. He threw
Yeah.
8, and then he beat it with 9.
Yeah, I didn't want to be outdone, but I think every play with me, it's either like a 1-play touchdown or it's
Okay.
an interception.
Okay, that's fine.
no in between.
You just
Yeah.
gotta eat that, like he says. You just gotta
Did
beat it.
you, when you were at 7 or 8, you had 9, right?
Yeah,
Were you
9
like,
fish with
I'm just
9.
gonna keep throwing it, or were you like, I gotta
Well, at that
run
point,
the ball?
I wasn't gonna run the ball because I
Yeah.
was losing.
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
also, considering I threw 9 interceptions, I think I only lost by like 2 touchdowns or something,
Yeah.
which
Isn't
is
that-
not horrible.
That's the heartbreaking thing.
Well,
when you look back and you're like,
Yeah, the
if I
fact
had
that I was like,
only
if
not thrown,
I only threw like 6
half of those.
interceptions, I could have won that game.
Yeah.
Think about how
right.
bad that game was. He was playing one of our friends. He
Oh,
was playing
wow,
Nick Escobar.
really? Another-
So how bad was Nick?
Yeah,
man, that he
terrible.
threw 9 interceptions
that
and
you
still
get 9
lost.
turnovers and you
No,
can't
it was
win.
just I
And
throw
won
a
by
pick,
7.
Yeah, yeah.
clamp him up on defense. I throw another pick, clamp him on defense. Just keep going.
It sounds like you need to adjust your strategy a little bit on the offensive side.
We might need a school.
I
Let's
David
teach him
Carr.
some-
running,
some run
running the
concepts.
ball is just a little boring. I just like to.
Okay, that's fine. I agree.
I just like to throw
just-
deep
no,
passes.
I agree with
You
that,
know?
actually.
He was
I don't play Madden to like punt on 4th down or anything
Yeah.
like
Oh,
that.
so he's
That's not.
full
He was
in.
like live commentating the game to me. He would send me like a snap. He'd be like, "Not looking good here."
You can use one of those thumbs to help improve your offensive scheme. You not text me.
He does not care. He was going insane. That was nuts.
Maybe do some audibles while you're at it, while you're texting me.
So how do you feel? It's the last Sunday without football for a long time. I'm so pumped.
I love how they've set that up too. It's
Yeah.
almost honestly the last Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday without football until after Christmas.
Yeah, right.
It's kind of crazy.
It's insane.
It's here. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I get tired of talking about preseason stuff. It is fun because everybody has hope at the beginning, so every team's excited. And I mean, even the Vikings think that they're gonna win the Super Bowl.
We
right?
always hate on them for no
yeah,
reason.
but you know what I'm saying? Like they're like, we got this.
Yeah.
You know, you don't. Right. In reality, you'll find out after week 1.
Yeah,
But-
right now everybody's at the same level,
Yeah.
but then once it starts, there's some fans go up,
Yeah.
some lose hope
And
really
some
quickly.
actually like the losing hope part. Like
Oh,
for a
yeah.
long time, the Browns fans just love to be the Browns fans.
Oh yeah.
And
They
you just
just
gotta
love that
lean
part of
into
it.
it.
Yeah, you do,
Just
yeah.
know that's your identity.
Get
Losing,
get
that's just
respected
who
for
you
being
are.
bad.
The hard ones are probably those teams that are kind of like right on the cusp, and you really think they're
The
going to be good.
Cowboys
Yeah.
that are going 8-8 every you.
Yeah, I think that's why the Cowboys are so like interesting because everybody either loves or hates them. There's no like in between.
Yeah.
So.
I think it's easier to just like accept that you're in a rebuilding phase than like be right on the cusp of like we really should be making the playoffs.
Just always push the rebuilding thing then if you are a coach. If you're a coach or a front office, like we just need to find a way. There's good football teams out there. Don't ever be like, we're right there. We got them this year. And
At least you know,
7-10.
At least you know what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
You have a plan.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah,
it'll be fun.
exactly.
I can't wait to watch the rookie quarterbacks play. I think that's going to be fun. I think a lot of people are going to be interested to see that maybe the rookie quarterbacks, as exciting as they are in the offseason, it's a big jump to go from being pretty successful in the preseason and the offseason and then going right in and actually winning some football games.
So which ones do you think have a jump? Like which ones go?
Well, the crazy one for me, the most interesting one is the fact that Bill Belichick forever has never had any respect for rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And he just basically handed his entire franchise to a rookie quarterback.
Yeah,
that's the crazy one to me. So when you watch Mac Jones play, like his processing, his understanding of the offense, it's at an incredibly high level.
Yeah.
And so you think, well, okay, is it just going to always be like that? Has he always been in that type of system? So he's always been in that type of offense, and for him to just jump right in and play so well that they just say, yeah, you know what, Cam, I think we're good.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. So that tells me a lot. And they did so much in free agency with the tight end position, with the wide receivers that they brought in. I think that they got a chance to be right back in it. I mean, are they going to compete with the Bills? Maybe. Who knows?
It was an insane amount of people in their defense who didn't play last season.
Yeah, like these guys like
Dante Hightower,
Patrick Chung, like those guys are vitally important to their
Oh,
success, and they have some guys back that they haven't had they had missed last year that went to the teams and come back. That I think is going to kind of bring that defense back to where they should be. So I don't know, we'll see.
I think it'll be interesting to see like when you see all these Nick Saban quarterbacks coming into the NFL that like going from Nick Saban to Bill Belichick, like one legendary coach to another, it'll be really interesting to see like if his play style like changes or like what that's looking like.
Their offenses are just going to be so similar. I mean, their coaching style is so similar. I think Mac Jones gets a lot of heat because how he walks into the draft. He looks like he's like a computer salesman. Like he's just kind of cruising in, like just it's goofy. He's got a bad body, but he doesn't even care. Like when you really listen to him talk and you listen to his personality, like people think he is the absolute man. Like he has that quality about him, like what Brady had. Like he's able to.
When Tom Brady showed up to the NFL Combine, you weren't looking at him thinking like, "Oh, this guy's an absolute unit."
Yeah, so Mac Jones is the same thing. It's almost like, wow, this is really happening again. They're gonna go grab Mac Jones and go do the same thing they did for the next 2 decades.
Him, I was like, here we go again.
Yeah, here we go again.
It's literally like this is the plan all along.
They're back,
And
so
I think it's also interesting about the rookie quarterback thing you were saying because it's true. It was like Jarrett Stidham and Jimmy G. Like they were just like. That was supposed to be like the next in line.
Yeah,
and get their chance with him.
Yeah, and like for whatever reason, you can tell early on too. Like with Jarrett Stidham, I think the Garoppolo thing was interesting because they obviously drafted Garoppolo high. They thought that he was going to be the guy, and then that whole thing with like, did Brady kick him out?
Yeah.
Did he go to Kraft and say, hey, this Belichick's trying to replace me?
Yeah.
I'm your son, basically. What are you going to do about it? Kraft sends Jimmy Garoppolo to San Francisco. So there's that whole dynamic where. Now Brady's not there, so they bring Mac Jones in. It's like, oh, no problem.
There's the whole rumor that the Patriots sent an offer to the Niners with Tom Brady first and not Jimmy G.
Yeah, exactly. And like, why not? I mean, that makes sense, right?
Yeah, if you think you have your guy.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, that's.
Do you think they're regretting that decision now, just sending him away? Or think now they have Mac? They're like,
no, they're fine. I mean, they probably were when Brady left last year and when they won the Super Bowl with the Bucs, and they're stuck in Cam Newton purgatory, like not really knowing what's happening, and he's not throwing the ball well. So like. It was interesting because they were like, okay, we're going to run the ball at the quarterback, and the quarterback that runs the ball against the Patriots historically has had great success. So they're like, well, let's try it. Josh McDaniels drafted Tim Tebow, if you remember, and he was in Denver. So he was like, I want to do this.
Yeah.
And they did it, and they were actually successful running the ball, and like in the red zone they were good there, but the passing game stuff wasn't there. So that's where I was like, well, maybe they'll stay in this market and try and get a guy, like Trey Lance or like someone that can actually run, but they say no. We're going to get the guy, Mac Jones, who runs like a refrigerator and just literally stands there. So we're going to go back in time, do the same things we've always done. We know it's going to be successful, and off they go. So we'll see what happens.
I mean, just like you, right? If you didn't have your legs in Houston, it would have been raps. If you couldn't move around.
Ron Jaworski was an old ESPN commentator, actually played for the Philadelphia Eagles, and he was a quarterback on the team that gave up like 70-something sacks. And it was Randall Cunningham and him, apparently. That were on the team, so they kind of split the sacks or whatever. And he was like, if you couldn't run, you'd have 100 sacks. He told me that before an ESPN game one night. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right. I was out, man. I was out the gate. I wasn't waiting around to see what was going to happen either. I was like, no, man. We get to like halfway through that season. And first of all, I was like, I'm done playing football. This is dumb. This is stupid. Let's do something else. And then
in Houston, you were saying?
Yeah, and then I was like, they paid me a lot of money to play quarterback, so maybe I'll stick around and see if I can figure this thing out. And then I just started running around. I remember being in the huddle, and we'd get down in the red zone, and our best play literally was me dropping back, waiting for the line to kind of show a little bit of a crease because there was going to be one, right? And I would step up and then move to my right, and Corey Bradford was from the Green Bay Packers. He's my wide receiver, is a veteran guy. He literally could run a go route straight, a slant. That was it. That's all he could do. He couldn't stop. He couldn't turn, right? So I was like, all right, Corey. So we did it on accident. In a scramble drill against Jacksonville, where I scrambled, rolled out, and he pretended like he was going to go run the back end line, and then he whipped back out, and I just threw it in the corner, and he made it a touchdown. We were like, that's the best red zone play we've had all year, right? So like the next week I think we played Tennessee, and I threw for like 370 yards. Yeah. The majority of it was me and him, just literally me getting out of the pocket, and he would just scramble, find some space, and I would just fling it to him. The crowd was going nuts.
It's literally like a superstar KO mode for you in real life.
I was like, just let me get out of here. And then like what happens in football is like when you make a play like that, the coaches, they want to be like, okay, go through your reads, stay in the pocket, trust you. But you score a touchdown, and 60,000 fans are going crazy. So the coach was like, yeah, great job, high five, So it's like, you idiot.
You survived.
Well, as a fan, like, it's great if you can stick in the pocket and throw just like solid play, solid touchdown. But it's so much cooler to watch somebody just like scrambling. Looks like they're gonna get nailed from every direction and then somehow pull it off.
Also, real quick, the scariest thing I've probably ever seen in my life is looking over there and see Tyler adjusting knobs. This might be
what is he adjusting? Like, we haven't moved. There's no exterior circumstances. We're not outside.
Chill out. I'm doing my own thing over here. I'm trying to figure it out. All right, we're doing good.
Did you unblock your girl?
Did she respond yet?
You know
so
what,
we've been here for now.
Hey, everyone takes an L once in a while, bro.
You don't have to take the L. You took the L yourself.
Hey, how about it? You get in there and say, "Hey, what's up, Shawty? You trying to be on a podcast next week?"
Or you say potty. It will rhyme.
Potty, yeah.
Shawty, potty.
Yeah. Try that.
A little poem in there. Girls like poems, right? That'll be good.
I don't know. Maybe don't try that.
I think they love poems and they love being on podcasts.
Okay, yeah, perfect.
How are you gonna know? You blocked her. You're not gonna know. You'll have no idea.
I'll never know.
She might be a poet. And you would not
know.
She might be.
What if she loves podcasts? What if she's listening right now?
She can't.
Hello.
She has no idea how to get a hold of
one of our fans. Bro.
She might be. We looked it up. We were looking at the analytics yesterday, and it was like 2% of the people that watch us are women or something like that. It's so funny.
I think it was like maybe 5.
You got to step up here.
So
but maybe she could be one of that 5%.
What if she's one of the 5? What do I say right now? She's here. She's listening.
She could be one of the 2%.
I don't know. What would you say to her?
Yeah, what would you say?
Go. She just walked in the room.
Dang, why'd you leave me on red, bro?
Oh, you can't. That's
bruh.
Don't add the bruh.
Don't add the bruh.
You're lucky you don't have a camera on you, bro.
I think you're digging yourself a deeper hole if you start off with that.
Did she leave you on red? Is that why you blocked her?
No, she didn't leave me on red.
But she lied. You made up an allegation that you just accused her of when she walked in. The first thing you said to her was you accused her of leaving you on red when she didn't do it.
She's going to say, I didn't, bro.
I hope she tries to message you and say, sorry, my grandpa died or something, bro. I hope they do that.
It is a pandemic.
Yeah, it is a pandemic.
So, I mean, whatever it is.
How about you're excited? Fresno going crazy, bro? Fresno's out there?
Yeah, my man Jay Kaner had a chance to get his jersey up on the wall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's not a lot of us up there, but he could have been. Like, that was crazy. That was such a good game. The defense played great, and Jake played fantastic. Offensively, they gave him some time to throw after he almost got destroyed by Thibodeau over there on the corner, who we unfortunately played at BCHS. Yeah. But that man is a grown man, and when he went out with his ankle injury, I was like, we got a chance. And he had protection. He missed one throw in the end zone, and then one late right before he fumbled. And it's like those are the only 2 plays that he's going to remember.
Yeah, the bad ones.
Yeah, and he made so many good ones that you just sit there and you're like, man. But you know what? They're a good team. They're a really good team. Really good. Yeah, so to go play in Oregon, I've been there. It's not an easy place to play. Very difficult. It's extremely loud. So for them to handle that, they got a good young football team. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Almost good enough to beat Cal Poly next week.
Yeah, this man's from Cal Poly.
Bro. He's talking so much man. Now, does Cal Poly still run the wishbone or the triple option, which is I saw last time? I think they do. I didn't
even know they had a football team.
Well, we'll find out.
Hey, John Madden went to Cal Poly.
I was looking at the score predictions, right? And so it showed this like little pie chart. 98% that Fresno State is going to beat Cal Poly. How do you feel about that, Noah?
So there's a 2% chance.
It literally said 2% chance they win.
Is a chance.
So is Cal Poly in the Mountain West?
No.
No, Big Sky.
way, right?
No,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
For
no
football, Big Sky. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
They never told me the odds, right?
Never told me not. Crazier
Never
stuff
told me
has
the
happened.
odds. Yeah, for sure. Especially after you play Oregon, you got like this
yeah.
emotional like little letdown going in. You know, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
we expended all of our energy. You guys were cramping up. You know, but Cal Poly, do they have a chance? They have a 2% chance, Ty?
2% chance, yeah.
chance,
It was kind of sad.
Yeah,
It's
not
not
What I
going to
get
lie.
into.
Cal Poly's coming off that big win against University of San Diego.
Oh,
Oh, dang.
I knew they had an aquarium up there. I didn't know they had a football team.
Why are they only playing beach towns?
They don't want to travel.
you don't
They
wanna-
budgets.
yeah.
budgets.
You don't want to come to the valley more often than you have to.
You know,
Yeah, that's
who, you know
true.
who doesn't want to come to the Valley?
Who's that?
Any big school like UCLA. Probably they would said no chance
It
of
was
coming
funny.
to Fresno.
I don't remember who I was talking to. One of my colleagues at the NFL Network, and they're like, "Oh, we play Oregon." They're like, "Is it in Oregon or in Fresno?" I just looked at them.
Yeah, no chance.
You think the Ducks are coming to Fresno?
Like,
are you crazy?
when I heard UCLA was playing Fresno, I was
Yeah.
like, no chance UCLA's
But
coming
maybe
to Fresno.
there's
I
no
mean,
way.
If you had Oregon come down and play in the Valley Heat, maybe that's enough.
We'd
to
have
make
a real
difference.
chance
That
there
home
for
field
sure.
advantage.
Oh, because Lindsay Rhodes is a colleague of mine at NFL Network. She was previously. Now she was working with, I can't remember what network did the Fresno State UConn. I was their week 1 game, and she was on the field, and she asked me what to do because she heard it was going to be hot. And I'm like, first of all, Lindsay, don't go. Just don't tell them you're sick. Like, get a cough. Like, I don't know what you do, but it's going to be 120 degrees
Oh,
in the
yeah.
field. She's like, no way.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, it's 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, Lindsay, let me tell you something. That turf is so incredibly hot,
Yes.
and you're just sucked in this little
Yeah.
hole in the ground.
It's just
and
bringing
everything
all the
else
heat
is
down.
everything else is built around you. So you're just literally in this hole,
Yeah.
like heat
yeah,
is
you
just
got
beating.
that blocking off any possible slight
So
breeze. Also.
I'm watching the show. I'm watching the game, and they keep going to her, and she has this, you know, the little thermometers. They have
Yeah.
like the little circles.
Oh,
and
the big thermometer.
so they bring them out, you know,
Yeah.
because that's like the move for the sideline reporters.
college
Like,
football.
let's get one of these things.
Yeah.
And she texts me, and she's like, I put this thing on the ground, and it went to 130 and broke. So I'm like, well, I tried to warn you, and so she couldn't even use it the rest of the show, or the rest of the game, because it had hit. So 120, and there was like 10 more degrees, and then the little pin at the bottom that kind
Yeah.
of keeps it from going all the way. So it went down, and then that little thing bent and broke at the bottom. So it was past 130 on the field.
Because I remember,
crazy.
I don't remember going to your games, but I definitely remember going to Derek's. And like when I would be in the stands, it's like fine, it's
Yeah.
still hot, but then as soon as you get to the field, it's game.
It was a
over.
different level because
Yeah.
I don't know why, just the way that turf is, dude. When you get down there and that heat just kind of flies off into
Oh,
that
yeah.
black rubber pellets underneath, it's just miserable. So
Yeah, that's why I knew. Like I told you, as soon as I found out UCLA and Fresno are playing, I was like, there's no chance that UCLA.
now is that's coming up, right?
I think it's in like November, December. Or
Okay,
something
so
like
the Cal Poly game's next.
No, I
Cal
think,
Poly
I think
games-
it might be the week after.
Okay, so it's
Cal
after
Poly,
Cal
maybe.
Poly.
that. I know
I'm not sure.
they're playing the 11th.
Are you guys gonna
I
go to
think.
that one too? Do you know yet or not sure?
I want to go to the Cal Poly one.
September
Cal-
18th.
This boy just needs to
UCLA
commit.
play.
September 18th. So yeah, 2 weeks. So they play Cal Poly then
So it's
UCLA,
back to back, dude. It's insane.
and UCLA just smashed
Smashed LSU.
LSU. So how's
That's
that
insane.
make you feel?
Terrified because they're all like on Twitter now going, "We want Bama."
Relax, Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you
Bro.
win one game in the heat.
Speaking of Bama, bro, let me read you this stat real quick about Alabama. Okay.
All right.
So
I
Alabama,
have a theory about Alabama, and my man Will Blackman on Twitter backs up my theory.
they might have sold their soul to Satan.
Also, that, and I believe that they don't even recruit players. I think that they just
Oh,
have a
yeah.
factory where they just pump these dudes out
they just
because
make 'em,
every
yeah.
one of those guys, you look at them like,
Yeah.
starter of the NFL, starter of the
I think
NFL, starter of the NFL.
Once you have a dynasty going like they do, do you even need a recruit? I think
No.
just
Oh,
no.
saying Nick Saban is our coach is enough. To
Nick Saban
recruit.
could walk in
Like,
and
you don't-
slap like your dad and just like
Oh,
stare
yeah,
at you, and you're like,
exactly.
yeah,
You're
let's
like,
sign with Nick
I don't know.
Saban.
He
Like,
wins
yeah.
games.
He wins games, Mom. I just don't know what to tell you. You disrespected Dad in the living room, but I just have to feel like it's the right school.
All right, you ready for this?
Yeah.
So Alabama lost the Heisman winner, a second first-round wide receiver, right? A first-round quarterback, a first-round running back, 3 offensive linemen, a cornerback, the MVP of the national championship, a top assistant coach, and they won 44-13 in the home opener. How is that possible?
We had one kid at BCHS stay home sick, and we lost by 50 on Friday night. One player.
Like, how is it possible?
What
that
does that
they
tell you?
win like that?
You know what I would do if I was Nick Saban? I'd walk out and I'd have all my starters just in suits and ties and have them stand on the sideline and just stare and start all my backups against like half the team. And
it's
just
also,
be like, good luck, you're not going to beat them either.
It's also interesting, like you got a different quarterback every year for one.
Yeah.
But also even coaching staff, the turnover is crazy.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah.
once you're an assistant coach for Nick Saban, then you're a head coach.
Well, because
somewhere
everybody's
else
like, wait,
next
he must
year.
be a good coach.
It's like
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
literally just stirs the Gatorade powder into the water.
If you're
he doesn't do
associated
anything else.
with Alabama in any way, then I think you've got a job locked
It's like
away
Bill
anywhere
Belichick.
else.
Like every assistant coach gets a head coaching job for at least a year somewhere.
And I love about Alabama too is like Nick Saban, when he gets his boys, he gets guys that he likes and respects in the coaching world. Like if they get fired somewhere, he just brings them in as literally the Gatorade stirrer. You know, like so Steve Sarkisian comes in, he kind of hangs out for like a week or two. Head coach of Texas. I'm like, what happened? Head coach of Texas? What are you talking about?
Was it like you look at the pictures and it's like I can't believe Alabama, like this was their backfield. It's like Nick Chubb, Derrick Henry, Kenyon Drake. I'm like, they had all these guys. And
All of them. The pictures are the best. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
when
Well,
you
some of
see
the
all of them.
receiving cores
Yeah,
they had
the receivers
too,
they
of,
had
like
that.
Julio.
Even the quarterback rooms, like with Mac Jones and Jalen Hurts and
Tua,
Tua, they're all
there.
in the same
And
picture.
it's
Like, you had
everyone-
all of these players.
and they're all starting an NFL
Yeah,
roster right
yeah.
now.
Yeah,
It's
did you
insane.
know? Wait, let me pull up this stat. That the game yesterday, Alabama played against Miami. Their quarterback was 24 years old. That's older than 6 starting quarterbacks in the NFL, and 3 of those starting quarterbacks are from Alabama.
So, like, is this like this guy? Do you think like this 20? I don't know anything.
I don't
about
know
this
who it
kid,
is,
but like, so do you think that he was just kind of like chilling, and Nick Saban was just like,
Oh yeah.
go to this junior college in Louisiana and hide there.
Yeah.
Don't take any football. Don't even go on the field. And then like he just
Oh,
pulls
yeah.
him out of the woodwork.
It's like-
He's been training him like in the backyard, like
Yeah,
on
like
his
Rocky,
boathouse for
like,
like
he's
yeah.
treated like
And then he's
Rocky
like,
in the hills.
boom, let's
It's-
display you to
It's
the
like
world.
the NBA with like stash players, right? Can you like stash someone for a year or two? It's
Yeah,
just
that's
like
what they're
that.
doing. That's
Yeah.
what Saban's doing.
Yeah, well, that's
insane.
what's crazy is these guys that like don't get like. I think if I'm a scout somewhere else, I might be just trying to snag the second
yeah.
stringers at
Yeah.
Alabama, rip them.
Yeah,
That's what happened
exactly.
with Jalen Hurts a little bit. Is he
So
got,
at what point is it like? Do we say that Clemson? Maybe not Clemson. Did they lose to Georgia?
yeah, they
Yeah,
lost.
yeah. So at what point is just Alabama a monopoly? And we're like, you know what?
Yeah, right.
Alabama, okay, we got to break you up. We got to break you up. Like, at what point do we do that?
Yeah, do you
or do
have
we
to
just let Nick Saban
demand-
make $15 million a year every year? And so, okay, interesting. Steve Mariucci, I think I've told you this before,
Yeah.
but I'll tell our friends on the podcast and Tyler because he probably doesn't listen when I talk. But Steve Mariucci, I'm sitting at the NFL Network, and he's friends with Nick Saban. And they were together at a Super Bowl event a couple years ago. And Steve Mariucci was like, well, I brought it up. I was like, why won't Nick Saban go back to the NFL? Like, he's clearly, he wasn't great in Miami, but he's been obviously very good in college. I think that he just needs another chance. You know, quarterback, who knows what happens, right?
Yeah.
He's like, Dave, I asked him this question at one point, and Nick Saban, he goes, Nick, you're my buddy, Nick. Nick, why don't you go back to the NFL? Make some money, you know, be an NFL coach, try to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And he said, Steve, why would I trade with 31 other teams first-round picks when I can just take every first-round pick every year out of high school and put them on my football
Yeah.
team? It's a valid point, right?
Oh, yeah.
You think about it because he has the pick of the litter. He can take anybody in the entire country and have them come to Alabama. Where if you're in the NFL, I got pick 12. Now what? I got one of those guys. You know?
yeah.
And then now I got to wait and share with everybody else. He's like, I'm not doing that.
It's like every year it says like Alabama's the most drafted players. Like in
Yeah, it's not even close.
It's
Well,
insane.
you have
Yeah.
even like when Tua came in playing for Alabama, like he was coming off the bench. He was
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
playing because Jalen Hurts wasn't
they
playing,
had- when
and then
they-
you have this guy come in, and now he's a starting quarterback in the NFL.
When they played against Clemson in the national championship, I can't remember what year it was. It was a few years ago. I think it was Deshaun Watson was the quarterback.
Yeah.
They did a stat before the game, and they said on Alabama's football team there are 85 first-team All-Americans.
Yeah.
85 out of high school. On Clemson's team, there was one. 85 to 1. And they're playing, the two best teams in the country are playing each
Yeah.
other,
Yeah.
and it's 85 to 1.
You have to apologize to Hunter Renfro for that one. He's gonna be mad after.
But Hunter, were you a first-team All-American?
Wait.
call him out for his high school.
No, he
career.
wasn't, and that's okay. That's okay. He was underdeveloped. I'm sure he's underdeveloped now.
Because every time we like watch like Alabama games or anything like that, and like all of us as like Raider fans, because we're supporting Derek, we're all like, I hope we draft that guy. I hope we draft that guy.
Yeah.
It's like we're naming every player.
Just I hope we get an Alabama
I hope we
player.
get one of
And Now you
them.
can see why Mike Mayock just goes, I'm gonna take Alabama or Clemson, and that's all he only
Yeah,
picks.
that's
Those
all
two
you
I mean, I
players.
think there's something to be said for like it's interesting when you take players like Trey Lance came from
Yeah.
like a relatively small no-name school, but then you've got like there's something to be said for just taking players that are from winning teams.
Oh,
for sure.
That know how to win.
Yeah, or that
always
have won
competing at
forever.
the
Like
top
even
level.
like their junior high, they were successful. In high school, they were successful because like they're like winning, just like everything else, is a habit. And like I remember when we were in Houston and we started losing, guys would get just comfortable with losing.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, it's fine. Checks don't change. Like all these stupid comments would come flying around, and I'm thinking like, okay, this is kind of dumb. Like I know I'm a young guy here, but veteran guys, they shouldn't be talking like this.
Just like Trevor Lawrence, right? Didn't he like win like throughout high school and college, right?
Yeah,
I think he
he's
hadn't lost
used
a
to
game
winning.
since, like,
That's what he's
middle
used to
school or
doing,
something.
you know? And that's why, like, even people were getting, and I knew it was going to happen, Urban Meyer in Jacksonville. You start hearing these dumb, just spoiled veteran players saying, oh, Urban Meyer likes to win in the preseason too much. Like, who freaking cares?
Yeah.
You should want to win a game.
I
You
think
won
he
one
won.
game last year.
Yeah.
So it's time to start wanting to win.
Well, that's
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a pet peeve of mine. Like even as a Lakers fan, those years like after Kobe retired, there were a
roughest
few
years of
years
all
where it
time.
was like, I just want to see. I don't even need to see them win. I just need to see them look like they want to win.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
It's like you just
it's
gotta
a
see them
mindset,
like,
and you
putting
just
some
get used to
effort out
something.
there.
Looking at like some of the Lakers starting five in between that time is so rough. Like, I
It's
don't
hard
know
to
any
watch,
of these
man.
guys.
It's hard to watch.
It's so gross.
After the
Yeah, but I was hyping myself up like they were gonna be good though.
You
I
have
thought
to.
Andrew Bynum, I thought he was gonna be an
Great.
absolute stud.
I was
Josh
like-
Hart gonna go crazy.
I'm like, these guys are going to be amazing. Terrible.
awful.
Terrible Laker basketball.
I mean, also because everyone was mad at the Raiders for drafting Alex Leatherwood, but that's another Alabama player. I'm just gonna trust it, dude.
He's a
I'm gonna
massive
trust that
human.
The man's gonna be okay.
He went to Alabama. I'm sorry, what are the negatives?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think
Whatever.
okay.
I don't care.
And then everyone's like, and then we take the safety. Everyone's like, oh, okay, you know what?
Because that's
should have swapped them.
That's the dumbest thing
Yeah.
for me is like, oh, you should have taken him at 12 picks later when you took the. Who cares?
We got both of them.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
If I took him in the 5th round and the 3rd round.
Yeah, I
like,
think when it comes to like the NFL draft, I think the ends pretty much justify the means.
Exactly.
So like whenever you
Yeah.
took them,
doesn't matter.
If you,
Like, I mean, honestly, like you could probably go through. If I just grabbed 10 random players that are all pro players and asked you where they were drafted, they're all drafted in the 1st round or 1st or 2nd round.
Yeah.
But you tell me where, and then you won't even know.
Yeah, we won't know.
You won't even
Yeah.
know, right? You might be able to guess like 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
But who cares? If he's a good player, take him. If you need him, take him. The Raiders needed a right tackle.
Yeah.
Right. So they're like, you know what? I don't care if he's supposed to be picked 12 picks later. Consensus. We need a right tackle like right now.
well,
Right.
especially situation based. If you're like, this guy looks like he'd be really good in our situation,
Yeah.
our scheme, what we've got going.
And he's been fine. He's
That's
been
Mike
great.
Mayock's job to find out who's the player to get.
Well,
right?
especially too, like if you're only like when I looked at it, the Chiefs did this with when they drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire, one of my favorite players of all time.
Oh yeah.
So they didn't really need
The Ewok.
anything except they needed a running back that could catch the ball in the backfield and consistently be the guy. And they're like, we're just going to take him in the first
Yeah.
round. And everybody's like, whoa, you can't take him in the first round.
Yeah.
He's short and little.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. And when he played, right, okay, you can look this up, Tyler. I don't know if it's going to be too hard for you, but maybe you can. When Clyde Edwards-Helaire played, I think the point differential for the Chiefs was like 14. So when he didn't play, they scored 14 points less. When he did play, they scored 14 points more. And it might have been close to that, but it was similar. Right? It was
Yeah,
2
yeah.
digits for sure.
We were all excited. We were hoping the Raiders might even get him.
So it's like the same thing. If you have a clear hole with the Raiders, like you had issues. Like we'd sit down, I watched the cut-ups with Derek, and we go through all the pressures and where the plays would break down, like having big shots down the field and something is right tackle, right? So you're like, okay, all of this, the majority of the problems happened at the right side when we were rotating guys through trying to find a guy.
Yeah.
Not like the guys that were playing,
Yeah.
weren't trying their hardest and doing their best, but they needed a guy that could anchor that thing. So now you plug that piece in, and now you don't get those pressures. Now you do get more throws down the field. Now your whole team's better, all because you took a guy 12 picks before you should have. Who cares? So
That's why I also always stress when everyone's having a panic attack. I was one of them when we started losing a lineman this offseason.
Yeah.
I was definitely one of them, but I was
Yeah.
like, okay, there's got to be a reason, right?
yeah, well, a lot of money's tied up on the interior
Yeah.
offensive line, and historically, you don't necessarily need to do that. And you had
Yeah.
Richie coming back; you knew he was going to be
Yeah.
back, right? And I'm not sure they restructured his deal or what they did. I
Yeah, I don't
can't
really know.
remember anyway. So, but Rodney Hudson was making a lot of money. Gabe Jackson was making a lot of money, and you have guys that played a lot last year that weren't those guys and were making a lot
so
less.
good, stuff like
And they're
that,
still
yeah.
good players, So you re-sign those guys. You got young center and James. You got a guy from Houston that can play. You have guys that are going to be able to fit it in. Now you can use some money to spread it out.
Who would have thought back in the day that Colton Miller would be the GOAT on the
Who would have
offensive
thought that
line?
he's the best offensive lineman that we
Because
have?
everyone was hating on the draft.
Hating.
Like his first year is a little rough. I think that's just a thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like even Panisa Y, he's having like
Young
rough
tackles
preseason
are going to have
apparently.
a rough time.
Yeah,
They're
but
gonna-
now everyone's like, oh, he's so
yeah.
glad we took him.
Oh yeah, because you're playing against the best player on the field. athletically gifted, physically just dominant player is the defensive ends, pass rushers, right?
Yeah. Hey, if I'm the Raiders, I'm just gonna give Derek time and let Derek work, because that's all he needs.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Derek can turn in.
Hey, so I found that stat.
Okay, what is it, Ty? Was that close?
Well, actually, I found a different stat.
Okay, what is it?
In
the opposite. It's
1998, Derek Jeter batted 3.24. So, like, what do we think about that?
What did you bring that?
You know what? I swear.
that was in the
And he didn't even say.
Why would you bring that stat
He
up?
didn't even say 324. He said 324.
I just had to make sure everyone
As
knew.
if there was another number coming.
Why would you bring that stat up right now? He's the worst.
Hey, you know what? This is good though. You
Here's
need
a reminder
to. You
that
need to
Derek
be the
Jeter
worst
is good.
researcher ever. I'm so good. I'm used to NFL research is the best research, and they actually have a Twitter NFL
This
research.
dude said, I didn't find your stat, but I actually found one similar. I found that.
So you keep looking up those, and meanwhile, actually, if you go to NFL Research, everybody at home, they have a Twitter, Austin.
Yeah.
They're fantastic. They work with me every day in the NFL Network, and they have a Twitter account, and they send out really good information, like the stat that I tried to bring up that Tyler couldn't find. So Tyler, if you go to NFL,
I'm the source for I'm the source for NFL research. By the way, they asked me. Stuff.
okay, that's fine. Well, they don't need baseball stats,
they
so
call
maybe
him
He's
not with
Adam
Derek Jeter.
Schefter's source, bro.
can't
He's
believe
Adam
this.
Schefter's source.
Doesn't Woj talk to him before he
Oh
releases
yeah,
stuff?
Woj definitely talks to him.
You guys are.
He knew LeBron was coming. Just like our friend remember when Sahil was saying that he knew when
Kanye
Kanye was
was
gonna drop
dropping?
the album, like he's best friends with Kanye. He's like, no, Kanye says he's gonna drop it like in 5
got
days.
the
Like, did
inside
Kanye
scoop.
talk to you?
I love that.
It was so funny.
I wouldn't put that past Sahil though.
Oh no, he knows.
Sahil knows people.
He knows someone.
Yeah, I remember I saw Sahil one time when the wreck. We were when was it the Pro-Am? We were playing
in
2K.
Yeah.
And I had been invited to your 2K team.
Yeah.
And I was so pumped. And I'm in there. I'm just getting my gym time in. Kobe hour, right? Just shooting, dropping greens. And I see this man come through. This dark little man coming through the hallway. I'm like, is that Sahil Singh Sadhu? And of course, who was it? And he stood there at the baseline and he just watched me shoot. And I swear I hit 15 greens
Yeah,
in a row.
he told me he's never seen more green lights in his life. And then he said randomly, like, he doesn't even text me at all. And then, like, he joins the party. He's like, me and your dad just had Mamba hours for 30 minutes.
We didn't even talk, bro. I didn't try to join his party. He didn't try to invite me. We just shot, passed,
He
shot.
He said it was the sound of the dribble and swooshes. That
Just
was all we needed
buckets.
to hear.
And I walked out, and I swear my guy went like this.
It's like those stories of like people showing up and watching Kobe practice at like 3 in
Yeah.
the morning.
Exactly what it
Wasn't
was.
showing
That's
up
exactly
watching
what it
you.
was.
He said it was like he said he walked in and he thought he saw like Bigfoot. He said this dude was just going crazy in Mamba
Sahil
hours.
is one of my favorite people.
One of the other things we're gonna talk about, like 2 more things.
Okay.
But like for these young MLB fans, right?
Yeah.
Who like are trying to like join in, right? They don't know what teams to watch.
Yeah.
Like, what would you guys say? But you guys are more than MLB fans. Like, what games should they watch? What rivalries should they watch? Like, 'cause you can't watch every game.
No,
like,
you can't
it's
watch
hard,
every game.
yeah.
Obviously, I mean, Noah probably has some comments on this, but I think
Yeah.
you got to find the team that is local. You have to
Yeah.
root for the
Yeah.
local
You have to
team.
root for your area.
You can't
Yeah.
just like, I mean, you can, but you can't just. I can't just pick the
Yeah.
freaking Baltimore Orioles.
Well, but real quick, are the worst fans ever Laker, Cowboy, Yankee fans? Like, if that was
We're
one
just
human, is
all
that the
over the
worst fan
place.
of all time? If that's
well,
one
I
man,
can't say that because a lot of Laker fans are Dodger fans, and I
That's
don't know if
true.
you know this, but I'm a Dodger fan, as
Yep.
you are supporting my team here.
Yep.
So I mean, the Dodgers got voted the most hated baseball team in the country.
Yeah.
They hate us because they ain't us.
That's right, exactly right. I'm sorry you don't have endless resources to pay your lineup, so you have
No-
all stars at every position, and
no
you don't have a
cap-
place for Trey Turner, so
Is
you
that
put him at
20
second base.
Is that 2020 World Series ring looking like it's on your
I'm
finger
sorry,
right
is that
now?
cap
glare in
space.
your eyes? You can't drive. To
the no cap space is so funny. It's just look at the Dodgers roster, MVP,
Yeah.
MVP. I'm like, all right,
Look
Cy
at
Young,
these
Cy Young.
terrible teams in LA, Anaheim Angels. They got to play against us. They have no chance.
And then the Padres think they're lit. dude.
I don't know, man. Yeah, I like to watch. So even when like the Dodgers are on like Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN, I hate it because those announcers don't care about the Dodgers. Like
Yeah.
I want to listen to Oral Hershiser talk about the Dodgers, and like the guys that do the play-by-play every day for those guys are
guys that love
how
the
you
sport.
learn the
Yeah,
game.
they
That's
love
how
the
you.
team.
That's
Yeah,
how
well,
you.
like back when you could just listen to
learn it.
Vin Scully.
Yeah,
every
it was
night.
He was
he
depressed
knew
when
it.
Vince Scully
Dude, I was
retired.
so bummed. I mean, but he went forever, man. That guy
Yeah.
tried to do it, and he would just do it by himself.
You gotta
Just
take
up
him
there,
off
just-
because he's getting old before he says something controversial.
the
you know what I'm saying?
story-
You gotta get him out.
But the stories he would tell when he got up there, like, oh, this player grew up, didn't have baseballs, hit mangoes instead, or like
Yeah.
you just know all
Yeah,
these like
that's
crazy
the beauty
stories
of
about
Vin Scully.
them. Like,
That was what was so cool about him. That's what Oral's not to that level, but he can break down the game for you from a pitching standpoint, hitting what these guys are thinking. Like that stuff is cool to me because I grew up playing baseball, but I don't know it like he knows it. You know, and to be able to hear someone talk about the game like that while watching your favorite team.
Yeah.
So I would do that. I would find people that really love the team that you're going to go try and watch. And baseball can be boring. Like, I get it. But there's a reason they call it the national pastime because you can literally just have it on, and it's like a warm little blanket.
Yeah, I see this man taking naps watching games.
I'm
I'm
watching it.
I
I'm
think
there.
people need to understand that like watching baseball games it's not gonna be like watching
an NFL
football
game.
games
It's not,
or
dude.
basketball games.
It's just the
Well,
comfort
that doesn't
of-
mean it's bad. It just
No,
means
I
like
think this
you
man-
go to the like, especially even if you go to a game, you're chatting with your buddies,
Yep.
whatever it is. But
Or we would even do like I've done it with you before. We've done
the
fantasy.
cards, right?
Well, you bring the cards, you buy the cards, and you do like fantasy baseball. So if you go to a baseball game, you get some of your buddies, and you literally have a fantasy draft right before the game starts.
Yeah.
And then you get a point for a single or a walk, a point, 2 points for a
keep
double,
track
3
at the
for a
end,
triple, and then if they make an out in the field, that's a point. And there's all these different and you just make it fun, and you can we came down to the last at bat the last time we went.
Yeah.
And it's just super fun.
Because it used to be this man would tell us nothing, and he would just let us draft like bench warmers, and he would draft an all-star team. Like, I won again.
That's right. Oh, you got a pitcher that's not going to throw. That's too bad.
Yeah. Yo, I was like, wait, pitchers don't
I have
throw every
played
day?
Kershaw. I'm all strikeout, 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 strikeout.
I think that's what MLB fans have to know. Like, the games aren't going to be like NFL games where it's like something's happening every 2 seconds.
Yeah, no, not at all. It's
Yeah.
you're gonna watch games that's like 1-0. You're like, what did I just watch?
I think it's also tough because like, well, for one, I think MLB has got to be out of the major leagues, major sports.
Yeah.
Got to be the worst marketed
Yeah,
sport.
it's not very good.
I think
Yeah.
Rob Manfred needs to go for sure.
Absolutely.
A long time ago.
I agree.
But
Because you do have some young, talented players
Yeah.
that could really push the game forward, and they're not even really trying.
I don't know why
you're
you're
stuck.
Yeah, they don't want like it's hard to like even for the harvester it's hard to like show clips of baseball, but they're really
that's
Oh,
something
they
that's
won't let you guys do
even
it?
like that's why you don't see like Sports Center posting, or maybe not Sports Center, but like all these accounts on like Instagram or Twitter.
It's only the
tougher
MLB,
to post
yeah.
these MLB highlights because
really?
I think they crack down.
Will
on
they
that.
just like pull it down, or try and do it?
Ty, are we still filming? Are we good? Is we good? Okay. But no, the people that are the most hard, the PGA Tour they take that down instantly.
Oh, really?
I put a baseball clip or a golf clip. It was down in like 2 minutes.
Really?
Like they find it
I
quick.
think
Interesting.
It's weird with also like the MLB. Like you've got Shohei Ohtani, like once in a century talent, and you're not like that should be a household name for sure.
Yeah.
Not just
Yeah.
baseball fans, but like everybody should know about.
Yeah.
I'll see like commentators get on and they'll start to like try to talk about Shohei, and they're like, oh, you guys don't understand. He's doing stuff that Babe Ruth never did.
Yeah.
Like, this is the greatest
Probably
thing
the next
ever.
Babe Ruth,
And everybody's just like, baseball is just like, it's okay. He's just, I'm like,
No, yeah.
why is he not literally everywhere?
Right?
Right?
It should be like the Pat Mahomes, right? It should just be everywhere.
I agree. Man, the man could throw a no-hitter and then hit 3 home runs in the same game, and he'd just be like,
It's
that's
so
what I do.
sick. Yeah.
That's what I do.
He's
Well,
the
I think
GOAT.
it's sort of interesting, just like the nature of baseball is that I think the lure of like what people like about it is so much different than other sports. That even though like NFL and NBA, you still have like traditions and they're old leagues, but there's something about baseball of just like it's so like nostalgic or whatever, which I think is, if you've been a baseball fan your whole life, that's super cool. But like it's tough for like new fans coming in to
Because they don't
understand
get
all
that
this.
part of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's like, I'm just watching a really boring game right now, and there's only 3 hits. So what am I supposed to feel good about this? But then it's also like watching the story of the entire season, like how guys go through cycles of hitting, and you see a guy come out of a slump, and then you're like, oh, he's hitting well now. You know, and then he pops on the national scene. You're like, I was there. I knew that. I saw that before it was going to happen.
Yes, just wrap it up real quick. So, like, I'd say for MLB fans coming in, like, maybe pick a pitcher so then you're excited when he plays every couple of days.
Yeah, you don't
right?
have to watch every game.
Yeah, so
just
you're
find a
excited,
really
like,
good
oh,
one. The guy that throws nasty stuff that like this guy crazy
Or find
curveball
your
or
home
slider.
team.
Or like matchups, like as a Dodgers fan, anytime they play the Giants,
Yeah.
Padres.
if they play the Astros, that feels like a World Series game.
Yep.
Like
Yep. Just
any
'cause
of those big
some of the
matchups.
history behind it.
Yeah, and we just say go to a game, right?
Oh, for sure.
So
yeah.
much fun.
And then
At
just
least
try to
one.
make it fun when you go. Like, obviously, pick good weather, pick a
Yeah.
good stadium, go to Dodger Stadium, watch a team. have a
Not if
hot
it's an
dog.
afternoon game.
Not an
though.
afternoon
Those
game.
are
Don't do
tough.
that. It'd be too warm.
Oh yeah, don't want to go into 1 a.m. like that one game.
No,
a
don't
couple
do
weeks
that.
ago.
You melt.
That's not the
Make
move.
sure you're on the
Yeah,
so-
that might be rough if your first MLB game goes
It's like
16
your
innings
16
and
innings,
it's
your
like
first one.
1-1 in the 14th
Yeah,
inning.
exactly. They
So
run out of
you
players
might-
to play. They're like, this is the last pitcher and position player, so I'm not sure what's going to happen after this.
You
Like,
might never
great.
watch a game of baseball again after that.
Yep.
All right, good work, boys.
All right, that's it, huh? That's it. Nothing else.
that
We
it?
got
we
nothing
gotta-
else to talk about.
No, I'm bored of you. We gotta get you out of here.
All right, that's fine.
All right, see y'all. All I hope you enjoyed that episode of the Horse Race podcast. And Noah, can you tell them where you can find us?
Yeah, make sure to subscribe while you're here. We've got some big things coming, some awesome guests. And also make sure to check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Harvester Sports. We've got some great content over there as well.